Hey everyone, so it's Thanksgiving and we are 2 days before so-called Operation Dragonslayer, and if you don't know what it is, I'm going to try and explain real quickly. So it's still part of this whole Bitcoin Cash drama that's been going on for the past few weeks. In my last videos, I talked about the last big move Bitcoin Cash had before it went down to below $1,000, and it's now going back up, as you can see. And we have had a lot of rumors that this Thanksgiving weekend is going to be, or is supposed to be, uh, well, pretty dangerous for Bitcoin. Now, might just be a rumor to scare people from buying, or there might be some truth about it. And we are going to look at the rumor and the charts. So, first of all, where does this rumor come from? We have a post on Twitter with the screenshot, and like 1 or 2 weeks ago, there was an interesting video conference that I haven't even watched, but some guy, they were talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, and some guy had this whiteboard behind him while talking, and people afterwards noticed that he had some sort of timeline, which you can see here, for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Now, it might just be that he was just trying to, well, scare people and bring rumors into this community, but he succeeded at doing that. And I think he actually managed to predict that the Segwit 2x would get cancelled. I'm not too sure when the video was uploaded, but however, he was able to predict the rise of Bitcoin Cash and the cancellation of Segwit 2x. And for November 25th, he has Operation Dragonslayer. Now, whatever that means, Bitcoin is supposed to be the dragon, and someone somehow is going to try and kill the dragon. And it's going to be an interesting weekend, especially because even if there is no plan to do so, a lot of people have started to believe this conspiracy theory, and a lot of people are waiting for it. If we look at this Twitter account, for example, he's constantly tweeting dragon and the two swords. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what's going to happen. And this interesting Black Friday, Thanksgiving weekend coming up is really getting hyped as much that Bitcoin Cash has started to rise again after the incredible fall we had seen the previous week, and then a dip to below $900 before it started going back up. And I had this pretty triangle, which at first it looked like it would break through, but it then had an incredible breakout exactly at this crossing point, and it's not stopping for now. These last few hours it's had a cool off, but I would suspect that it's going to go even higher as we get more into the weekend, because today it's only just Thursday, so there's a lot of time yet for Bitcoin Cash to pull another 2K or so. And what about Bitcoin? So Bitcoin right now, we have another pretty tight triangle on the 1 hour chart. We have just 2 points touching on the uptrend line, which has been respected so far, and multiple points on the upper line, the downtrend line, which has also been respected pretty well. If you look at the 50-minute chart, we are going to have a pretty good example of how a trending resistance line gets respected by the price. So here it's pretty close. Here it's perfect. Multiple times it gets touched and never broken, as it just happened here about 1 or 2 hours ago. And we are going to see something happen during the next probably 12 to 24 hours, if not even earlier. So we will even if Bitcoin Cash is going hard, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin is going to fall 100%. We might still see a break of this resistance line and a further move up, or, which might even be more likely in this weekend, see, because of all the FUD and rumors, a break of this uptrend line and a move down to 8K or below 8K, which I will be glad to see and glad to buy if it goes somewhere around here. Now, I don't know if you want to believe all the rumors regarding Bitcoin Cash once again trying to overtake Bitcoin, but I have one concern. So people are saying that this weekend is pretty much the last chance Bitcoin Cash has to overtake Bitcoin, and a lot of them want to attribute this to the fact that Bitcoin is going to have a difficulty adjustment in just 2 days. So if we look at the difficulty statistics here, we are going to have an adjustment of the difficulty after 190 blocks, and that's in 1.6 days from now. So it's going to happen on either Friday or Saturday after this Thanksgiving Day. So we are going to have a difficulty adjustment, but what a lot of people seem to miss, because that doesn't make too much sense to me, is that the difficulty is not going to be adjusted up, but it's going to be adjusted downwards. So it's going to get easier to mine Bitcoin, and if it's going to be easier, then Bitcoin will be even more profitable than Bitcoin Cash. If we go to fork.lol, it's an interesting website that always shows the profitability of mining Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash, and right now they're almost the same. Bitcoin is even slightly more profitable than Bitcoin Cash, and once this difficulty gets adjusted down, we are going to see an even more profitable Bitcoin compared to Bitcoin Cash. So my question is, how does Bitcoin Cash exactly plan to become more profitable than Bitcoin? Because the ultimate plan is to raise profitability of Bitcoin Cash in order to have more miners switch over, as it happened 2 weeks ago. And after they have that, the Bitcoin chain is going to get once again clogged with pending transactions, which is going to, or as it has happened also 2 weeks ago, scare off more and more people off Bitcoin because of the lagging transaction, and that might give Bitcoin Cash a chance to become the preferred blockchain for miners and users. But if Bitcoin is going to remain more profitable than Bitcoin Cash, then there is no reason for miners to switch over. That's how I see it right now. The only way I can think of for Bitcoin Cash to become the more profitable chain would be the price increasing dramatically, as in doubling again, as it already happened, so going back to 2.9K or even further. In that case, the profitability would rise because the miners would get a higher reward for mining Bitcoin Cash. But that still does not mean that Bitcoin is lost, because as we just said, Bitcoin mining is going to be approximately 25% easier starting from Saturday or Friday. So to recap this, I don't see why Bitcoin Cash should have a better chance at overtaking Bitcoin as the real Bitcoin, as they call it, now than it had 2 weeks ago, because 2 weeks ago it was on its way to do so. It went to 0.6 Bitcoins in value, while Bitcoin was crashing down towards meeting Bitcoin Cash in price at some point. But then they let it crash. So I'm thinking that whoever was pushing this Bitcoin Cash narrative, if they really had the plan to overtake Bitcoin as the main Bitcoin variation, they had their best chance while we were rising exponentially right here. Instead they let it crash down. So I'm thinking that those people probably took their profits up here somewhere and then left it alone to die. And now this new hype might just end like the last one did. Especially because, as I see it, at least we don't have a better chance right now of seeing Bitcoin Cash prevail. So I think this is all I have to say regarding this Bitcoin Cash Operation Dragonslayer story. Now, to look at the whole market, we are not only still just $200 from all-time high, meaning that Bitcoin could push to break it any time, and that overall the market still is really bullish, not only Bitcoin but the whole market. We also have an incredibly high total market capitalization in the cryptocurrency markets, as well as an interesting indicator as I see it, and that's Ethereum. Ethereum has reached, or has almost reached, its old all-time high, depending on which exchange you look at. So let's take a quick look at what Ethereum is doing. So this is an incredible rise. It has started creeping up around here, start of November, with a lot of sideways movement before actually breaking the sideways action on mid-November. And from then it has pretty much started to rise pretty quickly, to my mind far too quickly. This looks like a parabolic, unhealthy rise of Ethereum, but we all know that Ethereum is capable of doing such things and even more. But let's look at what this happened. Wow, incredible volume on this candle right here, and we have broken the $400 mark here on Bitfinex I'm looking at, and the daily chart shows a clear picture. We are at the ultimate all-time high of June, at least for Bitfinex prices, but I think that a lot of people look at Coinbase. So let's take a quick look at how it's looking there. Yeah, that's it. The highest price Ethereum has ever been was in June 12 on Coinbase. It reached a price of $420 basically, before crashing down forever. And in end of August, September 1st, Ethereum had its second push for a new all-time high, which was then interrupted by the massive China FUD and market crash of September. And I don't know if this is pure speculation, but Ethereum pushing for an all-time high over 400 has already 2 times, look at this spike, what the hell was that, has already 2 times resulted in a massive market crash. So if you believe this Ethereum indicator, as I want to call it, we might be due to a market-wide correction, which could maybe even be triggered this weekend by this whole Bitcoin Cash Bitcoin story. Since, by the way, we are having a lot of fear, uncertainty, doubt regarding the Bitfinex problems linked with the Tether cryptocurrency that has seen massive problems and a hack just a few days ago. So people have a lot of uncertainty regarding that, and that was the hack on Tether was what caused, I think, the last dip. This spike actually was caused by it. It wasn't too big of a scare, but it still was significant. I think a lot of people got their stop losses triggered and lost some money on this pretty fast 2-hour 6% drop. And right now we still don't know if Bitfinex is legit or is doing scammy activities, as people call them, but we are soon going to find out. So overall bullish outlook on the market as of now, but Ethereum pushing for highs has never been such a good indicator. This growth is pretty steep, so there is not too much I can say about this. It could come down anytime or continue this time for sure to 500. This isn't too clear. So I'm on Bitcoin, to recap, I'm waiting for a break either up or down of this triangle formation. Ethereum is doing what it's doing. Bitcoin Cash probably is due for another leg up. And to top this off, we're going to look at Litecoin, which is just like Ethereum, pushing higher and higher on its journey to go to its old all-time high of September, which was around $93, if I am not mistaken. Yes. So it still has a way to go, a long way to go. On the other hand, it is pushing pretty hard, and it's also going pretty steep up. Last thing we're going to look at is NEO. So NEO is in this sort of, let's look at a 15-minute chart, short-term downward movement since the rumors that had led it to almost hit $50 wasn't that big of news once it came out, and people were disappointed and took profits, and NEO started to come down almost to its old level of $30. Now we have had a somewhat not really confident break of this parallel channel. We have NEO now maybe starting some sideways action before either going down or going up some more, but at this point I don't know if NEO is going to go up this quickly, since there is nothing to be excited about after it has actually, in a matter of a few days, probably 2, gone up 70% almost, and now come down another 30%. So NEO sideways, Litecoin bullish, Ethereum very bullish, but a little bit risky at these levels, and Bitcoin, we're going to see what it does. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you don't get stuck in any coin if the market starts to